I was live in attendance for SummerSlam 2023. I want to give my live thoughts and fallout of the show. This is not going to be a review of the show necessarily. I'm going to talk about a couple of main story points and briefly discuss my thoughts on the show and what I think is going to happen next. So, first and foremost, the show was very long. I was there at Ford Field. I had to drive in from Flint, Michigan, where I was staying out with a friend. And it was like an hour drive because they had to reroute the traffic. And then after the show, I was stuck in the parking garage. Something happened. I don't know what. We were on the 10th floor of the parking garage, and we were there for literally 2 hours. Didn't get back to the crib until 4 in the morning. It was crazy. But the show itself was good. There were some problems. Obviously, Ronda and Shayna, not very good. It's very difficult to do worked MMA. I tweeted about this on Twitter or X or whatever. It's very difficult to do worked MMA, especially with Ronda, who she now has go away heat. The fans don't want to see her anymore, even as a heel, and she is gone after this match. I told y'all that in the prediction video. She's gone, putting over Shayna via choke, which is good. But Shayna Baszler, I think, has the potential to get over because she's more passionate about pro wrestling than Ronda is, it seems. And Shayna, for sure, is now getting a push. So that's the fallout from that. That was not a good match. But like I said, doing worked MMA is really, really hard. Only a few guys can really pull it off. You know, it's very difficult. Most of the time you see good worked MMA in Japan. If you go back and watch some stuff from the 90s, you'll see some worked MMA there. Early Pride fights, like with Mark Coleman against Takada. That fight was a work, and they made it look a little bit more real than this was. So it's just hard, especially if you watch both sports, because the MMA fans, and I love MMA, the MMA fans are obviously like, they're obviously gonna know it's bullshit and not buy it, and the wrestling fans know it's BS too. Just give us a wrestling match with spots and catch as catch can, you know. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that match anymore, but the right winner won. Also, people thought the main event was too long. I understand that. It was very slow paced at first. I enjoyed the match and the storytelling, but I think I understand that. I understand people saying it was slow paced and whatnot. That's fair because it was slow paced. No, Roman Reigns has been working these really slow main events, and having a match like that with Jey Uso was not the right kind of match to have because Jey Uso, nobody thought Jey Uso could win. So the idea there is you want to basically have him come out brawling and fighting, have it be a quicker match, and have Roman really sell the fact that Roman might lose, even if nobody believes it. You want to tell a good story, right? You want David to beat up on Goliath before Goliath wins. So clearly where they're going with this is Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso. If you watch the Ariel Helwani interview with the Usos from last month, they literally said they want to work each other at WrestleMania. They said that's their dream match, Jimmy versus Jey. Well, it looks like we're going to get it. Now, I saw some people on Twitter that were like, well, are they really going to hold off till WrestleMania? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe WrestleMania will be the blow-off. Maybe we'll get Jimmy versus Jey in other matches like at Payback or Royal Rumble. And then the last match, the final blow-off match, can be at WrestleMania. It's not that difficult to do this, yo. Like, I don't know why people are, whoa, are they really going to wait till Mania? Bro, use your head. Use your head, but they don't have to wait. But I do think that match is happening at WrestleMania. Whether it be the first match or the third match in the series, it's happening. Meanwhile, with Roman Reigns, he's left without an opponent. So clearly it's going to be Solo based on the fact that he accidentally speared Solo. Just like I told you guys, I said this in a video earlier this year. I said the story they're going to go with, man, did I nail this, was Cody Rhodes loses to Roman at WrestleMania, has to overcome other obstacles like Brock. We're going to get to that here in a minute. And eventually will beat Roman at WrestleMania 40 because by then the Bloodline will be disbanded because the family won't get along. And I literally said it's going to be Roman breaking up with the Usos, Solo, maybe Heyman, maybe. And then eventually it'll be Roman versus Cody with nobody there to save him. And that's when Cody beats him. That, to me, is the right story and the right payoff for all of this. And they're going to do it. I mean, they literally have done. I predicted this accurately, yo. And that's what they did. I'm going to talk about Cody here in a minute, but my God, listen, I was in the building The pop that LA Knight got, holy moly, that thing was loud. I went to go grab a drink. All of a sudden, the place, I thought, oh my God, it was like Steve Austin came back. It was like that level of a pop. I was just in awe of that pop. This guy's a star, and he won the Battle Royal, and now they're feuding with Miz, according to Raw. So they're bringing him along slowly in the mid card / upper mid card, and that's what they should do. I've had some people tell me that, oh, they should put the U.S. title on him or give him the world title. No, because then what? Then what do you do with him? Then it's like he peaks too early. You want to bring him along slowly, get him a little bit more over, keep going because they're doing the right thing with him, have him feud with a bunch of different guys, and then eventually rise to the top if he should obviously stay, not injured, nothing bad happens to him, stays over. That's when you got to really put the pedal to the metal. I could see LA Knight being world champion in a couple of years. I could see that 2 or 3 years. I could see him being world champion. Maybe sooner, but I think at the latest 2 or 3 years. And that's fine because bring him along slowly. Then I want to talk about Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. What a match, yo. What a great story. Yes, Cody hit him with the steel steps, and it should have been a disqualification, but I want to talk about the handshake at the end. So according to Triple H, what he said at the post-Summerslam media press conference, is that Brock, that was not scripted. In other words, they didn't tell him to do that. Brock on his own shook Cody's hand. Now that's a big fucking deal because Brock has not done that after a match since Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19. That was WrestleMania 19 was 20 years ago, y'all. 20 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? And he did that for Cody, and that was a big deal. I was very touched by that because I was very emotional because of that, because it was great. Like, he literally passed the torch to Cody. I'm sitting there screaming because I wasn't expecting that. Brock Lesnar, something he's never really done, passed the torch to Cody. Shook his hand. You were the better man. They are getting Cody ready to overthrow Roman Reigns. I'm telling you this right now. I've been saying this. People don't understand. Cody's going to win the Royal Rumble. He's going to go in at number 1 this time. Watch, because he was number 30 last time. He'll be number 1 this time. He's going to win the Royal Rumble. Or at least maybe not number 1, but an early number. He'll have an early number. He'll win the Royal Rumble. He'll go on to defeat Roman Reigns, this time without anybody except maybe Paul Heyman, maybe the wise man, but nobody else will be there to save his ass. And Cody will overthrow him and become the champion. That's what I think is going to happen. Right now, Raw seems to be in a weird state because what do you do from here? You have Nakamura turning heel, which I predicted earlier in the show. He's in a feud with Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Cody may end up feuding with Judgment Day now, like not just Dominic, but like actually Finn and then, Damian Priest and those guys. He had a mini feud with them earlier in the summer. I could see that happening, but it's all gonna build up to WrestleMania or to Royal Rumble, where I think everything comes to a head. I can see Roman versus Solo being one of the main events on that show if they choose to go that route with Solo, because they have to develop Solo a little bit more in order for him to actually be a credible top guy. They could do that there. I'm not saying they will. They could do that along with Cody winning the Royal Rumble. So that to me is good. I want to talk about Io Sky cashing in. That was a good move because as much as I like Charlotte, Asuka, and Bianca as wrestlers, and they're great wrestlers, I thought the match, the first half of it was kind of a mess. Triple threat matches are not that easy to put together, so I don't blame them entirely, but it was just not that great of a triple threat match until the second half. Second half was great. Bianca, I wasn't sure if she was really hurt or not until she went back in the ring. And then when Io Sky came out, I'm like, okay, now it makes sense as to why they went with that injury angle, because Io Sky is going to cash in. And I'm glad that Io Sky and Damage Control are now back at the top of the women's division on SmackDown now. Or not back at the top, but at the top now, because Io Sky is fresh blood in the division. Io Sky versus Charlotte versus Asuka versus Bianca. You've got 3 new matches along with 4 ways and 3 ways and all kinds of stuff you can do. There's other women there as well, but that division I think is going to have some fresh blood, so I'm glad they did that. That was a very good move by WWE. Yeah, this show was a bit long. I like watching long shows at home, but being there live, man, you get tired. The crowd gets tired, you know. And by the main event, they were still pretty into it, I would say. But the slow pacing kind of brought things down a bit. It wasn't a bad match by any means. I don't think it was. I see some people on the internet trashing it. I don't. Wrestling fans are really weird sometimes, man. They're very people on the internet I've noticed are really emotional. I feel like more people outside the internet are more emotionally stable. People on the internet are so damn emotional over things that don't even matter, you know? But to me, I like the direction they're going in. I do kind of feel like the Cody Brock feud needed a bit of a stronger story, especially early on. But the finish of the story, not Cody finishing the story, but the finish of this story, I thought was very well executed. Anyways, with that being said, I think I'll bring this video to a close. We'll see what's going to happen in the future. Some have said the Bloodline storyline has kind of peaked. I don't know about that. I understand why they would say that, because really the Bloodline isn't really the Bloodline. I think what they're going to have to do is bring in some more Samoans. They're going to have to bring in some more people, man. They've got Rikishi there who could come in for at least an angle. I don't know if he should wrestle Roman, but I don't think that's a good idea. But have him come in for at least an angle. You've also got other Samoans on the indies. Alpha Jr., a.k.a. Manu. I don't know if Jacob Fatu is still signed to MLW, but there are still a few out there that can join this storyline. And I think you're going to need some more Samoans to freshen things up. You're just going to need to do that if they want to ride this out. Because they've got 4 months till the Rumble. And then after the Rumble, then they can really build up WrestleMania with Cody for the next couple of months after that. You know, like really laser focus on that. You know, the Sami Zayn story was what they really put a lot into last year, or I'm sorry, earlier this year, and last year. But this time they have to kind of really figure out where they're going. And I like the fact they're going slow. I like the fact they're going week by week, little by little. Week by week, little by little. So there you go. Anyways, y'all, what do you think? Let me know. I'll talk to you in the next video.